We're going to go ahead and do some more of what we did yesterday for September 17th for 8th grade. We're going to be using these word problems and using them to create equations that we can use to help us solve the problem. So after we do that, we're going to go ahead and move on to ordering numbers. We're going to move on to compound and simple interest, scientific notation, and then solving if we already have the formula or the equation. So a couple things that we're going to write down or that we're going to remember is we have a couple notes for us. The first one is we're going to look for those multiplication words. So that'll show us what is squished with the x. So those words are every, each, per, times. And we're going to keep the same people's numbers on the same side. So John earns $50 per hour and Paul earns $30 per hour. And Paul has $300 in savings. After how many hours will they have the same amount? So first we're going to take this bluish color. We're going to box in all of John's stuff. So John earns $50 per hour. So there's that word per. I know that's going to be squished with an X then. That 50 is going to have an X with it. Now I'm going to take a different color. I'm going to do all of Paul's numbers. Paul earns $30 per hour and has $300 in savings. So I don't see an extra number for John anywhere. So, I mean, that's okay. That just means John doesn't have anything in savings. So I see that I have this $30 per hour. That means the 30 is going to be squished with the X. And that means on the other side, this 50 is going to be squished with the X. And if we have money in savings, so let's say I worked 2 hours, but then I also have money in savings. Do I subtract the money that I have in savings, or am I going to add the money to find out how much total money I have? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the money. And since I'm looking for when they have the same amount, I know that I'm going to have an equal sign in the middle. So I'm going to have 50x because that $50 depends on how many hours he works. So if he works 2 hours, then he would have $100, right? So 50x equals 30x plus 300. So Paul's going to start out with more because he's going to have that $300 in the bank. But eventually, John's going to catch up to him. So show your work to show you guys that we're watching this. Go ahead and solve this. We're going to hit F2. We're going to go to solve, enter the equation, comma, x, close parentheses, and then we're going to click enter. That's when we'll find out how many hours they have to work when they'll have the exact same amount. So now we're going to go ahead and look at number 2, where we're going to be doing much the same thing. Rachel placed $2,000 in her bank account, and Mandy put $1,000 into her. So let's change my colors so we can see all the numbers that are going to go with each person. So Rachel has $2,000. Rachel takes out $50 each month. So we have that each with it, which means that this is going to have the X with it. So now let's take a look at Mandy's. Mandy puts $1,000 into her account, and Mandy deposits $100 every month. So we're going to solve for X. How many months it will take for Rachel and Mandy to have the same amount. So once again, we have this same amount, so that's going to be an equal sign. But we need to take a look at one more thing. Rachel takes out $50. So if you're taking money out of your bank account, should your bank account be going up or should your bank account be going down? If you're taking out a money out of your bank account, will the account go up or will the account go down? Well, if I have $10 in my bank account and I take out $2, I'll have $8 in my bank account. So it went down. So if we're taking out money, we're going to be subtracting. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Rachel's $2,000. We're going to subtract 50 times however many months it's been. And that's going to be equal to Mandy's $1,000. Now let's see what Mandy does. She deposits money. So she's putting money in the bank account. So if we're putting money in our bank account, so once again, I start with $10, but now I deposit $2, it's going to go to 12. So if I'm depositing money, I'm going to be adding that $100 in there. And that $100 is every month, and every is that keyword for multiplication. So here's our formula we're going to use. Go ahead and use this formula to find out how many months it's going to take them to have the same amount in their bank accounts. So when we look at number 3, Jake fills a tank of water at a rate of 1.5 gallons of water per minute. So he's filling it, so that's going up. All right. Ryan drains a tank of water at a rate of 2.2 gallons per minute. So that means it's going down. Jake's tank is empty, and Ryan's tank starts at 100 gallons. What equation can be used to find X, the amount of minutes it will take for their tanks to have the same amount? So go ahead and solve 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So number 4, we're going to go to F2, and we're going to hit approximate. For number 5, we're going to use the formula that we have for compound interest. And remember, compound interest will give us the total amount, but this question is only looking for interest. So we're going to have to subtract the principal once we find out how much the total amount is. We're going to turn this into scientific notation. And then lastly, we're going to do F2, solve, and we're going to enter this equation. So what this is saying is, how many x's do we have? We have negative 1x, negative 2x, negative 3x, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. So good luck.